Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're looking at arguably one of the most popular Spyderco knives out there, and that is the Para 3. It's compact, capable, and has a huge following, but is it worth the hype? I've carried and used it for quite a while now, and today we're going to look at the ergos, carry, action, build quality, and more, so you can decide if the Para 3 is the right fit for your pocket. So, let's get into it. We're going to start off with the blade, which is probably best described as a modified drop point. It's kind of a blade shape that is, I wouldn't call it a trademark, but it is the calling card of Spyderco. And it comes in at 2.93 inches, which will be under the 3-inch blade restrictions for some areas. So that's something worth noting. It has a full flat grind and a blade stock of 1.45 inches. And you can see that is mainly back here. It does taper down as you get farther towards the tip, but the base blade stock is 1.45 inches. Now, as far as blade steel, this particular model comes in S45VN, and that is the base steel. The base steel was originally S30V, but they made the change to S45VN back in 2021. I also have examples here in 20CV, as well as S110V. And even with those, we are really just scratching the surface as far as the steels that Spyderco offers. While it is not literally true, sometimes it feels like if a steel exists for knives, it's probably made in the Para 3. Based on my research, here is a list of the steels that have been offered in the Para 3. Feel free to pause the video if you want to take a longer look at it, because I know it's a pretty long list. And if I missed any steels, please let me know down in the comments. I just didn't think that everyone would want to listen to me ramble and rattle off letters and numbers for that long. So the G10 scales that came with the Para 3 were nice. They had a grippy peel ply texture, and they were nicely rounded on the edges to give you a really comfortable grip. But as you can see, I've replaced the scales on all three of mine, which brings me to aftermarket. Outside of perhaps the Benchmade Bug Out and maybe the Paramilitary 2, I think the Para 3 may have one of the most extensive aftermarkets out there for a modern folding knife. If a material is used for making knife scales, chances are somebody is using it to make scales for the Para 3. My examples, the one in the center here, these are milled micarta scales, and that is from a seller on eBay, and their shop name is Micarta Scales, and they are based out of Ukraine. And I also have aluminum scales from Aimfront. That's this one up here. And then Applied Weapons Tech down here. And I will have links to all of those down in the description if you're interested. And there are also plenty of options for aftermarket hardware and pocket clips. In a lot of ways, you can really make the Para 3 into whatever you want with aftermarket parts. One thing I do want to point out, though, is that there is the Para 3 and the Para 3 Lightweight. All of mine are standard, if you want to call them that, Para 3s. But the Para 3 lightweight models are linerless, so they don't have the steel liners that these do. And the lock bar is inset into the scale. Because of that, the scales for the standard model will not fit the lightweight model and vice versa. The lightweight models also come with FRN or fiber reinforced nylon scales as opposed to the G10 that most standard models come with. So now that we know what it's made of, how does the Para 3 feel? Now I'm going to get their models out of the way, and we will just keep this one. So the Ergos, and really the appearance for that matter, is really classic Spyderco. Now for me, with large, extra large size hands, choked down, I am getting a full 4-finger grip. I'm really not worried about coming down off the edge there. But then choked up, which I think is how I probably use this knife the most. Very comfortable. Now, the front finger choil here, it is a little bit shallow for my tastes. I'm not falling off of it. I'm not going to lose the grip on it. I would just prefer if it was just a little bit deeper, but not a major deal at all. Now, it also has this kind of, like, I would call it kind of a thumb ramp here. It has the jimping. You can put your thumb there, get a little bit of extra grip. And there's also jimping, if you can see on the liner there. And so you can even use that to index off the back. That's kind of something that I think gets lost because you just don't pay attention to the liners that much. But using either of those, you can get a really good feel, really good grip for really making some of those, tougher cuts and things like that. Now, the pocket clip back here, some people have said that it causes a hot spot if you're gripping for a long period of time, which I could see how that could be the case, but I've not run into that personally. And this is also an aftermarket pocket clip, so that could also be affecting it. And we're going to talk about the pocket clips here in a little bit. But onto the lock. Now, the Para 3 has Spyderco's famous compression lock, which you operate that with this tab here. You press on that, and it will drop shut as long as you have it tuned properly. Now, the best way that I could describe the compression lock is it really gives you virtually all the benefits of a liner lock with none of the drawbacks. It keeps your fingers out of the way, the blade path, makes it easy one-handed operation, and it's a very, very secure lock. You're going to have to really, really abuse this thing to try to get that lock to fail. The deployment on it, it's nice and crisp. You can see I'm not having any issues with it here. I have found, and it's not a major issue, it's not something that happens all the time, but if my force is just a little bit off, you can see it there. If you don't give it enough oomph, and now that time it opened all the way, obviously, but sometimes even just if the angle's wrong and I give it the same amount of oomph, it won't open all the way. But that's a relatively minor problem. I don't encounter it very often, and I was intentionally doing it there to try to, show you how it'll partially deploy and things like that. Now, I have noticed that tends to be more the case with certain scales. It tends to magnify it, like the aim front scales. And I don't know if it's just because of the finish on there or what it is. It does happen a little bit more with that. But again, I can pretty darn consistently flick this out without major issues. So just something to be aware of and something that I noticed compared to some other knives that I have. Now, once broken in though, the action is very smooth and the blade drops shut with no problems, as you can see. And there is no blade play at all on there. And then that goes for each of the models that I own. So on to carry. The Para 3 is definitely very pocketable, but it is also not perfect. Now, the factory clip is not deep carry. And as I mentioned, this is actually an aftermarket clip here. There are a lot of people that make the deep carry clips for Spyderco knives that fit across most Spyderco knives. But one of the things about the Para 3 is they insisted on reusing the large lanyard hole from the Para 2, because this is the exact same lanyard hole from the Para 2 is the impression that I'm under. And because of that, it creates issues if you're trying to use the standard Spyderco aftermarket scales. So you can see here, it is actually blocking the lanyard hole. Now this is actually, I ordered this. This was supposed to be one special for the Para 3, which I'll show you what those are here in a second, where it has kind of a cutout for the lanyard hole, but they shipped me the wrong one, and it didn't bother me enough. I didn't feel like sending it back and getting another one back, so I just kind of left it how it is. But bring it in here, this is what and it still kind of blocks it a tiny bit, but you can see this actually has a special cutout and it comes over here a little bit. So you can kind of see the comparison between the two. But so if you don't use a lanyard, it may not matter to you, but it does aesthetically kind of bug me if it blocks that. So I would definitely recommend one of the ones that has the cutout specifically for the Para 3. And aside from that, the knife rides in the pocket really well once you get that deep carry clip. And if you don't have to have deep carry, the Spyderco clips are fine. I just very much prefer deep carry on my knives, and I will always buy a deep carry pocket clip if I can. Now, the blade shape, as I mentioned, it can be an acquired taste for some people, but the tip is really good for piercing tasks, and the full flat grind keeps it very slicey, making it really useful for everyday tasks. One thing you need to be conscious of, though, is that tip, because it comes down to such a fine tip, it is a little bit delicate, and you need to be careful not to do anything that might risk breaking or chipping it. And I say that from experience, because on my S110V, I don't know if I can get it close enough that you can see it there, but the angle on that tip is just a little bit off. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it there, but it's just a little bit off. And what happened when I was reassembling this knife, when I got the scales, the tip of the knife bounced off of one of the barrel spacers here. And at first I thought nothing of it, but then I looked at it closer and there was a tiny little chip out of the tip. And it was just something that was going to bug the crap out of me. So over time, I've actually, taken it to a diamond stone and ground it down so the tip is, you know, it looks more like it did before. You can see some of the finish there. Yeah, you can see where the finish is different, and that's where I had to kind of grind it down. Is it something that is going to make a huge difference in use? No, but it was going to bug me, so I felt the need to do that. And that's something to be especially aware of with your really high hardness steels like S110V or Maxamet or one like that. But on to build quality. The build quality is on par with what we've come to expect from Spyderco. All of my Para 3s started their life with standard G10 scales, like I mentioned, and I've had zero issues with blade centering, blade play, screws backing out, nothing like that. And every single one of the blades came razor sharp. In fact, I actually have kind of a, well, now it's funny, a funny story behind the 20CV variant here. When I first got this, I was kind of playing around with a blade, trying to break it in, operating it like that, getting it to break in, kind of making the washers, trying to get those worked in. And while I was doing that, I managed to poke myself in the palm. And I'm trying to remember how I did it. Maybe I was like this. Anyway, I poked myself in the palm, and that made me jump. And when I jumped, I inadvertently pulled the blade across my thumb. Now, my palm was stinging, and so I was kind of reacting to that, getting ready to go get a Band-Aid for my palm, and then all of a sudden I noticed blood dripping onto the floor, and I was trying to figure out where's that coming from. Well, when I pulled it across my thumb, it had cut me, but the cut was such a clean, precise cut, I didn't even feel it, despite the fact that it was deep enough to actually require some medical grade super glue to get it to close up and stop bleeding. So if there was ever a good way for me to tell you how sharp these blades are, that is it. So back to the knives though. Fit and finish has been consistent across all three Para 3s that I own. They're pretty much identical in their fit and finish. So all of that said, the pros and cons for me. So pros, great ergonomics with a usable choil and thumb ramp. The compression lock is smooth, safe, and really fun to use. You can get it in a wide variety of steels, and that includes some rare sprint runs too. There's a strong aftermarket support as far as clips, scales, and hardware. The blade length makes it legal across the vast majority of the U.S., including where I'm at here in Illinois, where we have a kind of a soft 3-inch blade limit. And they are made in Golden, Colorado, USA Earth. And I'm not just saying that, that is literally what they put on their knives. In case you were concerned that this might be a Martian knife. So onto the cons, and they're really relatively minor. The clip not being deep carry from the factory is a con for me. I really think that they should come with deep carry clips. The lanyard hole limits some of your aftermarket clip options. If you're worried about blocking the lanyard hole, whether it's a functional thing or an aesthetic thing, the deployment can be a tiny bit picky, like I mentioned, especially with some aftermarket scales. And last, price can be a con depending on your perspective. So the cheapest Para 3, as far as the standard Para 3, not a lightweight, the base model will currently run you about $160, while the Maxamet will run you over $240. And with that, you're getting a made in the USA knife. And with that being the case, I don't think the prices are unreasonable, but that's all just a matter of perspective. And you can get some of the lightweight models cheaper than that $160 for the standard. You're just not getting full steel liners. So that's just something to kind of put that into comparison. So now that we've gone through those, let's look at some size comparisons. So first up, I'm going to bring in a couple of its Spyderco brethren, and that is the Sage 6 and the Sage 5, which are, virtually identical outside of the lock, but gives you an idea as far as size goes. And one of the points of comparison that I like to point out with these, I'm going to get the Sage 6 out of here and just use the Sage 5. The choil on the Sage 5 is a bit deeper than the choil on the Para 3. So as far as the finger choil, I definitely prefer the one on the Sage 5. But again, both of them are very usable. No major issues. Now, the next one, we're going to go with one of the other major brands. This is the Benchmade Mini Bug Out. This is going to be Benchmade's probably closest competitor to the Para 3 as far as size and use case. You can see the Para 3 is definitely bigger. I find the Para 3 more comfortable to use. It fits my hand better because I have larger hands. I can get a full grip on the mini bug out, but the Para 3 is just much more comfortable, more ways to grip it. Overall, I just prefer it in my hand. Next, we have the Demco AD 20.5. And you were kind of looking at two very different knives here when it comes to the appearance, because, you have the, more earthy tone here and a much brighter knife down here. But size-wise, they're very similar. The AD 20.5 is just a tiny bit longer down on the scales, but the blade lengths are very, very close. The shark lock on the Demco AD 20.5 is also one that keeps your fingers out of the way. Just a different design principle, but both are very, very good knives. Absolutely love both of them. Now, next, we're going to bring out the Kizer Drop Bear. Now, this is actually a Knife Center exclusive, so it has the burlap micarta scales. So you can see the scales are kind of similar on these, although these are polished, I guess I would call it, micarta, and this is more of a rough micarta, so this will give you more grip than this will. But you can see the blade length is almost identical on these, and the scales are pretty close in size too. So that kind of gives you an idea on that one. And next we have the Kershaw Bel Air. Again, pretty similar in size. I think the scales are a tiny bit longer on the Para 3. The blade is a smidge longer on the Bel Air, but pretty similar in size. And last but not least, we have the Hogue Ritter RSK, which looks like it's going to be a little bit shorter in the scales. Blade length is going to be just about spot on. This is probably one of the more similar ones as far as blade shape. But again, Spyderco has that very distinctive blade shape, so it's not exactly the same. So, on to the conclusion. Would I buy this again, and would I recommend it? Well, I've bought 3 of them. So, I would have to say, yeah, because I definitely already bought it again, twice. As far as recommending it, that is going to be a solid yes. It is not a perfect knife, and I went over the reasons for that, but it is a very proven platform with a lot going for it. Excellent ergos, top-tier steel options, an extensive aftermarket, and that signature Spyderco functionality. If you're into customizing your gear, or you want a USA-made folder with big knife performance in a smaller package, the Para 3 is really a hard option to beat. What about you, though? Is the design just a little too out there for you? Or do you already have a Para 3 in your pocket? Let me know down in the comments. And if you're trying to decide between the Para 3 and its closest competitor in the Spyderco lineup, the Sage 5, like I showed before, keep an eye out, because I'm going to be bringing out a head-to-head comparison video between those two. If you enjoyed this review, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. And if there are any other knives or EDC gear that you want to see, let me know down in the comments. And as I mentioned before, if you saw any products, any aftermarket things in this video, I will have those links down in the description. And until next time, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and I will see you in the next video.